It was the first week of the season, and we were trying to get a big win because we were taking on FCS Midwest, who we were significantly better than, unlike last year. However, our game did not start off on the right foot because our freshman quarterback, on his first play of his collegiate career, threw this pick six straight to the FCS Midwest defense, and the offensive struggles kept on continuing. And after this 66-yard catch and run, FCS Midwest was able to punch the ball into the end zone, bringing their lead to 14. Thankfully though, not all hope was lost because we had a new kick returner this year and he was pretty fast, so he was able to take this kick return all the way to the house, 91 yards, cutting their lead to only 7 points. And on their very next drive, their QB made this terrible read, which we ended up taking all the way back for 6. And then to try and get some offensive momentum, we went for the 2-point conversion and we got it, giving us the lead. And after we stopped them on this third down play, we held them to only a field goal, so we went into the half down 17-15. And after a quiet third quarter from both teams, we made this clutch stop to give us the ball back for one more chance to win the game. And since our freshman QB was playing bad, we had to put in our backup CJ Montes, which worked out beautifully because he made this amazing throw for 42 yards. And after that, we ran in the ball to take the lead. And thankfully, their Hail Mary attempt didn't go anywhere, and we ended up winning the game 21-17. And I'm not gonna lie, it's hard to be proud of this win because we really should have beaten them by a lot more. And with some tough teams coming up, this was looking like a really bad sign for the future. This week we were taking on FCS Southeast, and we knew we needed to get a big win so we could have momentum going into our next 2 games against number 2 Alabama and number 1 Ohio State. And thankfully, we started off the game on the right foot with this amazing pass to Alexander, who took it all the way to the house for a 50-yard touchdown score. However, FCS Southeast answered right back with this read option tying up the game, but it didn't matter because our offense was clicking and we found this amazing pass deep down the field. However, it was fumbled, but we got it right back, which put us right into scoring position, which we capitalized off of scoring our second score of the game. However, we still couldn't stop FCS Southeast and they scored to tie it up, but our offense was still clicking, so for our third straight possession, we got a third straight touchdown, bringing the lead to 21-14. However, we still couldn't figure out how to play defense, and they found this pass in the corner of the end zone to tie up the game, but we were able to score a field goal before half, bringing our lead to 24-21 going into half. And after FCS Southeast was able to tie up the game with a field goal of their own to start the third quarter, our new kick returner Erickson took this one all the way back to the house, breaking an NCAA kick return record of 103 yards, and then we went for 2 to build on the momentum and we got it. However, I still couldn't figure out how to coach my team to a successful defense, and they found this 66-yard passing TD. And to make matters worse, they went for the 2-point conversion and they got it, so they tied up the game late in the third quarter. And after a quiet beginning of the fourth quarter, late in the fourth quarter, we were driving down the field with a chance to win the game, but we threw the ball straight to the FCS Southeast defense, and they capitalized off it and put themselves in field goal range, which they hit even though we iced them. So just like that, we ended up losing to FCS Southeast 35-32. And for the first time in my coaching career, people were calling for me to be fired. And this was not good considering we had number 2 Alabama and number 1 Ohio State coming up. This week we were taking on Alabama, which was less than ideal considering the fact that we just lost to an FCS school. However, we did play Clemson close last year, so maybe we had a chance. And after a pretty quiet first quarter, we were actually able to score the first points of the game with this field goal. However, Alabama immediately answered back with this 70-yard passing TD. And then after we failed to get anything going on our next drive, they scored another long TD with this 62-yard rushing TD by the running back. And at this point, we were down 11, and our starting quarterback was actually injured, so we had CJ Montes in the game. But that wasn't bad because he was making dots like these. However, Erickson just fumbled it straight back to Alabama. And of course, Alabama capitalized with this pass in the back of the end zone, extending their lead to 18. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, that was probably the end of any good news for us because we were actually down 45-3 in the fourth quarter with our third string QB in. So, of course, we ended up losing, and it was definitely not an ideal game with injuries and the fact that we lost by 42 points. But, you know, maybe we had a chance against Ohio State next week. Coming off of a blowout loss to number 2 Alabama, we were ready to bounce back against Ohio State. However, this was not going to be any easy task considering that they were the number 1 team in the country. And things did not start off good for us because Ohio State scored this pair of TDs early in the game to extend their lead to 14. And once again, our starting quarterback got injured for the third straight game, so we had CJ Montes in there, and he was honestly not playing bad until he fumbled this ball straight to the Ohio State defense in our territory. And of course, they capitalized off of it, extending the lead to 21. And thankfully, we were able to hit this field goal before half to cut the lead to 18, but it was going to be an uphill battle if we wanted to win this game. And I'm just going to save you guys your time. We did not win the uphill battle, and we ended up falling to Ohio State 35-3. And at this point, we were 1-3 going into conference play, which was not ideal at all.